There's probably people waiting. I know every time I go to watch your lives, I see people on there. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
losing
there's some
lights.
people.
Woo!
Welcome in Mimi's Place. Thank you for coming in early. Lori with It All Adds Up. Jamie with Jamie's Country Living. Echo with Kaleidoscope of Happiness. And I think there's, okay, that's her. Okay. I was making sure I got everybody because sometimes I have trouble seeing way down there. It's so tiny. If you guys could share this out on your community tab to get a few more people in here tonight, we would definitely appreciate that. So I have some questions written down for Carol, but I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to let you guys have a little bit of time to share this out tonight. And so we can get a few more people in here so they can be answering her question, be hearing her answers. So at the very top of the chat of the comment section, I have Carol's link pinned for Broke but Bountifully Blessed. So if you're not friends with her channel, if you would click on that link, go by, add a couple of her videos into your watch later list and go by and click on that later. That would be awesome. And then just do that, run over, do that, come back.
Thank you for doing that, Gail. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope you get some new friends tonight out of this. But I used to do this section on, I don't know what day of the week I did it on. It might have been Tuesday night. It might have been Friday night. I'm not exactly sure because it's been a while. I used to do this section called Get to Know Them with Gail. Get to Know Them with Gail. And I would bring on a channel and I would ask them a series of questions. And then after doing that for a couple of years consistently, there's probably about 47 channels in the playlist of that. I decided to stop doing it. And then recently I've been trying to think of something new to do. Welcome in New Horizons. And so I decided I was going to start doing them again, maybe not every week in a row, but 2 or 3 times a month. And it'll be real, in the title, you'll know who's coming on. If there's somebody you want to get to know. Hello, Ariella. Welcome in from Australia. So I decided my very first one to start back was going to be with Carol from Broke but Bountifully Blessed. So if you're interested in coming up and talking about your channel and being asked some questions, if you will email me at the email that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, I will try to get you scheduled for an interview. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. If you guys just came in, if you'll share this out on your community tab, we would appreciate that. Okay. Are you ready, Carol?
I guess I'm as ready as we're going to be.
All right. How long have you been on YouTube?
Quite a while, actually. This is probably my 5th channel. At first, I was just doing playlists. And the first channel that I had playlists of my ex-husband playing in a band. He always wanted to go to Las Vegas, and he met a woman that took him there. And so there's videos of him, but that channel actually got hijacked from me not too long ago. And then I had one under my name, and I was taking a writing class at the same time I was taking a class on how to make YouTube videos. And I wrote a book, and that was in 2020, and I posted it on there. I read it, and some of my friends actually watched it from beginning to end in their cars, because I guess I have it scrolling too slow. People don't want to read that slow. Yeah. And then I tried recording a few other ones, and it comes in really handy when I have to leave my dog home alone, because she hears me talking the whole time I'm gone, and she stays quiet.
Oh, that's neat.
I wish I'd have thought of that years ago, or actually even a month.
I'm not real comfortable with reading, which is public reading, because I noticed that trying to do devotions, that I'm a perfectly okay reader. It's just for some reason when I'm reading out loud in front of people, I get this weird nervous thing, and I have no idea where it comes from. But I mean, there are times when I have read on devotions or whatever, but it's not like my favorite thing. It's not my favorite. Hello, Kristen.
Yeah.
Kirsten, I don't know. I'm totally probably messing your name up. I'm sorry.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, Ariella.
What state do you currently live in?
I'm in Wisconsin. I've lived here all my life. In fact, I lived 16 blocks from the house I grew up in. I walked there the other day because my nephew bought the house and he had a family party. So I walked over there and walked home. It was a little scarier coming home, but luckily,
because it was dark at that point, or
it was dark at that point, and I went across a street and a man walked up to me and he said something and it was real windy. I says, "What did you say?" And he looked down at my dog and he says, "Never mind, I didn't realize you had a dog." And he ran away from the dog like it was a vicious what do you call it? Great.
Maybe he decided not to mess with you because you had a dog.
That could be. I don't know. But this dog was actually, she was doing this thing that she wanted to go and jump up and say hi to him. So I thought it was kind of funny.
Sometimes people are afraid of dogs of all sizes, even little ones. I'm mostly afraid of like bigger dogs, that are like waist high, but they have to look scary, like a pit bull or a Doberman, something that looks scary. And that's only because I saw my little sister get attacked by a dog when I was little. No. I still have that, that fear from when I was little. But we did have a dog.
Was it a big one?
It was a poodle. We had a poodle named Frosty. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Do you live alone? Do you live by yourself, or do you have family with you?
I have my youngest son lives with me, but he doesn't want me to tell anybody that.
Nah, it's better to say you have a man living with you so people won't mess with you. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any pets?
Just Frosty here. Frosty, come here. Frosty.
Oh, do you have a dog named Frosty too?
Yeah. Yeah. Her name was Snowball when I got her. Come here. Come and say hi.
Is it Frosty with an I or Frosty with a Y?
She's actually Frostina now. I named her Frosty after the drink from Wendy's.
What kind of dog is she?
She's part Shih Tzu, and she looks like a Shih Tzu from the front. Aww. And she's part Bichon. In the back, she looks like a Bichon. She's got real long legs. So here, if I can stand her up, she doesn't want to stand up. But she kind of leans like this. So if somebody told me I should have named her Eileen.
I saw the little white curls, and it kind of reminded me of Frosty for a second because she was a white poodle. So by the top of her head, she had the little curls. But I actually named her after, we named her after Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah, that's what I tell everybody.
Claymation was the thing back in the day. So that's what
her name was Snowball when I got her, which I thought was fine. But she showed signs of being abused before I got her. She sat in her cage and growled at me for the first week or so.
Mm-hmm.
If I came into my room, she'd bark at me.
So she had to learn to trust you.
Yeah, she does. And I actually take her with me to different places like food banks or pet stores and things to socialize her so that she'll be around other people and get used to them.
Get used to it. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
so
but
where did you learn about gardening from? Was there a family member that taught you about gardening?
My parents were big gardeners. My dad grew up on a farm, and they had a double lot, and they farmed on half of the lot and part of the field, which is now the freeway. But they showed me a lot of things, and I would go out there, and I remember I was hungry, and I would just sit there and eat right from the garden.
Yeah, like tomatoes and stuff.
Yeah, and they had raspberry bushes growing along both sides of the fence, and rhubarb, and I'd just go pick the rhubarb and eat it right off the.
I didn't even know you could eat rhubarb raw.
I don't think you
idea. I've been wanting to try rhubarb, but I haven't tried it yet. What is your favorite vegetable to grow?
Oh, gosh. I think right now the microdwarf tomatoes, just because they're so darn cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try that in my hydroponics this fall. I'm going to
Yeah.
try some tomatoes
Yeah,
and lettuce. I'm going to try to grow, basically, I'm going to try to grow what you would need for a salad, plus a few herbs like cilantro, mint, and parsley.
Parsley I found was really hard to grow. I got one that was
Is
about an eighth of an inch tall, and I finally gave up and I bought some from the farmer's market this week. But our farmer's market has a great deal. If you go into the office and you have food share, I spent $10 on food share and they gave me an extra $10. So I got $20 worth of tokens and got $20 worth of things to, well, I got some things to grow, and then I got some zucchini and purslane and what are those patty pan squash? I got some of those, and I chopped them up and I froze them. I haven't even eaten them all yet, but
yeah, my friend Luann has quite a bit of those she's been harvesting out of her garden. Yesterday we had barbecue chicken, butternut squash, and broccoli. That's what we had, and it was butternut squash from the garden. But the broccoli wasn't from the garden; it was from Walmart. What vegetable would you never grow again? You're like, it's too hard, it's too complicated, it has too many problems.
Probably, I forget what it's called now. It comes in a little head, and what is it called? I have seeds for it, but it looks more like an herb, but it grows in a bulb. And the bulbs are really expensive, and I can see why. I tried growing them last year, and actually all I got was leaves.
This year I grew corn for the second time, and I actually just got rid of the seed. I'm like, I'm done with corn. The fire ants in Texas love it too much. It's too complicated. We're done with corn. I took corn and I wrote it off. I said, we're done with corn. And then also, I haven't given up on loofah yet, but I still feel like I should give up on loofah because loofah hates me.
It can't hate you. How can anything hate you?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it just feels like loofah hates me. I have so much trouble. Like this year, the trellis that the loofah was growing on also had marigolds on it, and it decided to fall over.
Oh no.
So now the marigolds and the loofah are just like a clump in my yard. Now, I had 2 trellises I bought. They weren't real expensive. One of them is standing tall and looks absolutely wonderful. The other one is laying down on the ground and there's a fluff. It's a fluff of stuff. It's crazy.
Oh, no.
So me and loofah just do not agree on things. But we'll see. There's still time. There are yellow flowers on the loofah. So it could be that one time when my trellis fell over. That may be the time when I get some successful loofah. I have gotten some little ones, but just never like the big long ones that you're supposed to be getting.
That would be too big anyway, though, wouldn't it?
What's that?
They might be too big at that. You know, the small ones might be
if
better.
you're using them like a sponge, like for cleaning, you want it to be big because it needs to be long so you can cut it. I think you have to wash it. You have to get all the seeds out, dry it, cut it, wash it. It's a whole process. I've seen people do it, but mine have never been big enough. But it's supposed to be big so you can, it's supposed to be like a foot long, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've never tried growing those.
Yeah, I have.
I try to stick with things that are hard to find, like ground cherries, and not something I can find easily in the grocery store.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for some YouTubers in here that may not know some of the things that you know? Is there any? Hello, Jennifer Ocean Homestead. Do you have any advice for any fellow YouTubers in here? from your years being on YouTube?
Gosh, I don't know. I've been getting so much advice from watching YouTube that
Yeah.
I
You feel
probably
like you're
learn
not
most.
quite at the teaching phase yet, maybe?
No, but I do tend to make teaching videos, but it's mostly things that I've learned. Well, some of the things I just came up with on my own. One thing with ADHD is I have a kind of creative mind. So I come up with goofy ideas that nobody else would think of, like making salad dressing out of a can of green beans.
I know. Like, I think you made salad dressing out of, there was another salad dressing video where you made it out of something. I was like, that's creative.
Yeah, I tried making some out of yams. I keep getting candied yams from my senior stock box. And I made some, and it actually tasted a lot like, what's the dressing that you would put on a Reuben? I can't remember now. You know, the old gray matter just being.
I would say I probably don't have a lot of experience with a Reuben. What kind of dressing do you put on a Reuben, guys? I know you
Thousand Island, but I ended up putting put a little bit of sweet relish in it after I blend it. It tastes just like Thousand Island dressing. It's really good. I like that even better than the green bean dressing, but I get so many green beans.
Yeah.
But the dog will eat those.
Creative. You think of stuff that I would never think about. So you do have, do you want me to spill the beans about your collab?
Oh, sure. Our collab.
Yeah. So Carol is hosting a collab. I'm going to co-host with her in the month of December. And what she is going to be doing is it's going to be growing micro dwarf tomatoes. So it could be in hydroponics, it could be in the window, it could be in like a system or in, water bottles or whatever creativeness you have. So it's basically indoor gardening, basically.
Right.
And I think what did you decide your hashtag was going to be on that?
I was thinking Microdorf Madness, but I want everything to fit in a title. So just Microdorf 2025, I think. 2025 or 25-26, because it'll go through to April.
Yeah.
And people can just grow what they want, but I will give some seeds away. I'm trying to harvest as many seeds as I can. And what I've done before is I've joined in different groups. There's, not YouTube, Facebook channels that just deal with tomatoes or microdorf tomatoes. And I joined one which was a grow out. And we had 12 people in the grow out, and the person that was running it got to pick from our list of tomatoes that we had which ones we would be donating. And then we had to give out 12 packets of 10 seeds so that each of us ended up with a packet of seeds. And I ended up with quite a few varieties. Some of them are barely available in the United States at this time. You can get them online from England or I forget what other country it is, but
Yeah.
I just keep forgetting everything now. So I do have some rare seeds, but what I do usually is I give each person, if they're requesting microdorf seeds, I give them a packet of 10 seeds, and I put 5 varieties in there, 2 seeds of each variety. But I let them know what they can expect. If they find that a tomato turns yellow, then we know it's a yellow variety. And I'll let them know which yellow variety is in their packet. And if they grow tall and red, they'd be another variety. Some of them are purple. I have one pink variety. And they're a little bit on the taller side too. I think they're close to 18 inches. So I keep those in my window. I found that growing them in the window works a lot better than growing them under lights. All
Yeah.
of the things that I grew under lights this year died on me. But
I do have one question that I did not have written down that I just thought of. Okay. So this year, in the fall, starting probably like September, I'm going to start hydroponics with the hydroponic systems, and I bought 2 systems. So my question is, like, when you're growing tomatoes outside, the insects pollinate. So do you have to buy a specific variety, or do tomatoes even have to be pollinated? Like, how do you deal with that if they're inside? You don't have your bees and stuff.
no, the tomatoes don't have to be pollinated. Actually, if you just walk up to them and give them a little shake,
That'll pollinate
doesn't
them.
have anything blooming on it, but you just kind of give it a little shake like that, and it'll pollinate like that. Or even if I just have a fan on them, they'll pollinate fine.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know.
I think peppers might be the
I don't
same.
know why. I was like, do I know the answer to this question? They self-pollinate. I don't know why. I forgot that. The other day I was like, how are they going to grow inside without being pollinated? But I wasn't thinking about the fact that tomatoes don't need that. So that's funny. But if you're interested in joining the collaboration, you can email broke but bountifully blessed 532@yahoo.com, or you can email me and I will forward it to her if you would like to join the micro dwarf tomato collaboration, which will be happening in November. So that's just a little foreseeing of that. So do you have any other hobbies besides gardening?
Oh, yeah. That's one thing about having ADHD. I have more hobbies than I can deal with. I actually had to stop a lot of them. I was doing polymer clay, and I gave all that away. And I was making jewelry, buying the beads and stringing them together. I gave all that away. But I've been sewing since I was 9. My grandmother was a seamstress, and she lived 2 doors away. And she would let me play with her scraps because I kept begging her to make my dolls some clothes. And she was very impressed with me that I figured out how to put in sleeves without being taught.
Yeah. Some people just are natural at things and other people are not.
But now I barely sew at all. I did make a bag that I can put in an old walker. And I put my dog in there because she has to be caged on the bus. And she also gets car sick, so she throws up in there too. And my last dog was, when she got old, I made her something to hold her diapers on.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I make little things like that. I want to make some bags for giveaways for some of the collabs that I'm in. And somebody mentioned making potato bags. And I looked up the instructions and I looked up the materials I would need. And just for the materials that I would need, it would cost me about $10 a bag to make. So I'm still going to try and do that, though. They look pretty easy to make.
Yeah, I have a few projects I want to work on in the fall. Definitely. I do have, I was trying to motivate Heather. We were talking about making a schedule up for the fall winter because I did one for spring summer, and I followed that pretty well for a while, and then I kind of fell off of it. But I made a new schedule for fall winter, hoping I could motivate Heather to do one as well. So if you're listening, Heather, I need a copy of your schedule. So basically it'll be like hydroponics on Monday and like whatever Tuesday, Wednesday might be, a healthy goals or a cooking video. Thursday might be a specific thing. And Friday I usually do friend meals. But anyway, I made up a schedule to keep myself on track. So
that's a really good idea.
What do you need to make? So if I make more than one cooking video in 1 week, which is rare, but sometimes if I make more than one cooking video, then instead of putting 2, I go ahead and schedule that other one for the next week to start building up my content. Like next week's content, Monday through Thursday, is already video because I made it this week for that. So I'm trying to work a week ahead. So if you see my gardening video, it could be a week ago, it could be 2 weeks ago, and it could be today. You just never know. But
I'm
right
glad
now
you told me that.
I'm running kind of early, you know what I mean? So things that may look good in my garden tour now, the one you see on this coming Thursday, by now my squash has been devastated by squash bugs. And I'm smiling because I have so much squash. It's,
Did you make any in your little machine to make noodles?
Yeah, I need to get in there. My goal for this weekend is to get that zoodle maker and zoodle some of the big ones and have spaghetti with zoodles, with zucchini noodles. That's one of my goals. Hello, Heather. I was just talking about you, girl.
It was all good stuff.
Did you get your schedule made yet? I was telling them I got my schedule made. Hi, Tammy. Hadrian, welcome in. Please share this on your community tab, guys, to get a few more people in here. All right, so let's see what else I have. So back in the day when you were working, because I assume you're retired now, right?
Yes.
What was your profession? What did you?
I was a payment poster for the Medical College of Wisconsin. When people when their insurance would pay, we would get checks for large amounts. I'm not allowed to say, but it was a lot. And we had to go through each check and post it to each person's account. But I was actually replaced by a computer when I turned 65 because I did Title 19 HMO, and they post it directly to the patient's account now. So the only job that they have is somebody that does, if somebody makes a payment while they're in the office, it's called guarantor, and they post it to the patient's account.
Yeah, I did a lot of billing and coding and data entry, things like that. Receptionist, office manager. I did a lot of office work.
Oh, that's good.
For many years. My very last job was as a paraprofessional working with special needs children. But right before that, I worked in medical coding and billing at the hospital. So yeah, I did a lot of data entry stuff too.
Yeah. I was able to listen to audiobooks while I was working. It would help me to stay focused on it. And so I would listen to several books a week. And that's the only way I got through it because it was so darn boring. Coding would have been fun. I did want to take that class, but I had signed up for it, and then I got hired at the medical college.
Yeah, it was about a 7-month course. It included medical terminology, Excel, Word, math. Anyway, several different courses. But
that's nice.
Let's see. Okay, so I always have to include conditions on this question because I remember from before I got these typical answers, so I have to put these conditions. So if you were going on a vacation and you didn't have to worry about money or your pets being taken care of, where would you go? Hi, Peter.
I don't like to travel. I never have. When I was little, my parents took me traveling when I was a teenager. I was in an all-girl band, and we traveled all over the state to perform. And I was just so glad to not have to travel after that, I'm just a homebody. I don't like going anywhere. In fact, I went to the farmer's market the other day, and that's pretty much it for me for traveling.
I used to be more like okay with big crowds and stuff like that. As I've gotten older, I'm a little bit less like that. It doesn't really there's situations where it doesn't bother me. Like when I was at the Ozark meetup and all those people were there, that didn't bother me because I know a lot of those people.
Yeah,
But
I
when
think I probably would like to go to that, but I can't see that I'd ever be able to.
like public speaking, though, if you asked me to stand up in front of all those people and talk,
But
that
you
might
were
be hard.
doing it, and you were doing great. From what I saw in the videos.
Oh, the singing? Are you talking about singing
Well,
or
yeah, the
talking?
singing too. Yeah, you sing way better than I did, and I was in a band.
Yeah. Well, I've pretty much been singing most of my life since I was a little girl. I've always liked music. I was in choir in like junior high and high school. So singing is always just, I've always sang even just to myself or to my family. But so I've
I
always.
didn't sing when I was in the girl band, but my
Oh,
husband.
yeah. What instrument did you play? Hi, Butler Family
I
Farm.
played bass guitar, and I met a guy who's actually, his bass player was killed around the same time my band broke up. And so I joined his band, and we got married and had a bunch of kids, and we played in a band for a while. He got to play like at Summerfest and things like that in different bands. He played for an Elvis impersonator for a while, and I got to play with them at a wedding. That was kind of fun because Elvis's bass guitar player was excellent. He came up with bass runs that nobody else did. But I didn't sing in the girls' band, but my husband said I had to sing in that band, in his band. And so I did. And one night, our former lead guitarist from the girl band came with her husband. And she said, I heard you singing. And I says, oh, yeah? And she said, I'm so glad we never let you sing in the girl band. So I guess I didn't sing all that good, but I mostly did yelling. He said I yelled at the kids pretty well, so he figured I could do that.
Well, some songs are kind of like talking because I noticed some of the songs I sang at the meetup made me more nervous, but I think I was comfortable. But then there was one song, and it's Grandpa by the Judds, and it's more like you're talking. And for some reason, that song made me feel more comfortable because it was like I was just telling a story. And I've heard that song for so many years. That's an old song.
Did you record that one? I don't remember seeing that one.
Somebody might have recorded it. I only recorded Margaritaville. Hello, Kentucky Life with Debbie. How are you? Yeah, but other people recorded some other songs. But that one made me comfortable. I don't know why, because that was the first time I had ever seen it. Like Brian with Resourceful Living said, oh, you do karaoke all the time, right? I'm like, no, this is my second time to ever do this in public. First time was Pinecone Fest, and my second time was at the Ozark meetup. So now I've done it privately with just like family, but this is my first couple of times to do it in public with, people I don't know.
But you were speaking too, weren't you calling out the winners or something on the?
I wasn't calling out the winners. Jan and Linda were doing stuff. I was handing out prizes.
Okay.
I was handing out the prizes, but I will be doing, my husband and I are going to do our own meetup in Texas in the spring. And it is going to be in Jacksonboro, Texas. It's going to be called the Lone Star Meetup. And so it's going to be Lone Star 2025. And it's going to be hosted by myself and my husband. And it is going to be in Fort Richardson State Park.
I saw that. That's going to be exciting. If
Yes.
I win the lottery, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I don't play the lottery, so.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, and we'll have lots of lives, and I know for sure we'll be playing bingo because my husband ordered a bingo set, and we'll probably be doing some karaoke. I know we'll be doing a giveaway, and we're going to have a food day.
Oh, I know where to go with all my extras.
Did you want the exercise band or the bag? because it did not say in your email which one you had chosen.
For which?
She won it the other day on HGW. Moonsprout. Moonsprout won a prize, but she didn't tell me what she.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I didn't get anything like that.
No. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I pulled up her channel name, and then I didn't know if she wanted me to say her real names. I was confused if I should say that, so that's why I kind of hesitated a little bit, because I don't know. Some people don't really like to. Like, I know what her first name is, but I don't know, because it's not on her channel, if she wants her name to be said. So
it's probably safer not to.
Exercise band. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
What's
okay, that's good. I'll try to get that out. We'll say Monday. I'll get it ready, but get it out either Saturday or Monday.
Did you get what I sent you the other day? Not yet.
No, I went to the post office. It wasn't there. And then I didn't go today, but I will go back and check again on Monday. You can say my name. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because not everybody likes their names to be said publicly. So, so do you do any food preservation?
Mostly just freezing. I want to get another dehydrator. I had one before, and I sent it to Florida with my oldest son when he went home last time, because he used to use rhubarb and strawberries, and he'd blend them, and he would make roll-ups with them.
Yeah. Mountain Grandma has a good recipe on her channel for fruit roll-ups that you make in the dehydrator. And now that I have a new one, I actually want to totally try that. But I think I'm going to need to get like some kind of trays. I don't know. Are you supposed to use parchment paper or foil in your dehydrator?
He used the plastic wrap when he did his.
Well, see, it would melt.
That's what I was thinking too, but it didn't.
Yeah, it would melt. So so I have a new dehydrator I got for Christmas. I do a lot of freezing as well, actually. I do a lot of freezing.
I don't can because I don't like canned food.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that say that. It seems like it's about halfway on. Parchment paper. Thank you. I was trying to remember. I was like, because if you're going to make fruit roll-ups the way the wire trays in mine are, all that juice would like flow out. So I'm going to go back to her recipe and try that. Did you play any sports when you were in high school?
No, I'm not into sports at all. I have grandsons that are, so I do get to watch a whole lot more baseball than I care to. One of my sons was in football. Two of them actually were in football.
I didn't play any sports either, but I did do I think they called it a weight training class, where we would run track 3 days a week, and then we would lift weights 2 days a week, or vice versa. It was either one direction or the other. 2 days was one thing, and the other 3 days were something else. So I can't remember, but I liked the weightlifting part better than the running. However, I did get quite used to the running part as well. And I liked it because that class was near the end of the day, so you didn't have to spend your whole day like sweaty, so.
Exactly. I think I was just too busy in the band. I joined when I was 15.
Yeah. 15. My parents wouldn't even let me out of the house at 15.
We had chaperones.
Yeah.
And our keyboard player was only 13. So, but we mostly played at CYO dances. So we had plenty of nuns around.
Oh, well, that's good. Have you ever lived on a farm before?
I did actually, for a year. After I was married, we rented a third of a farmhouse. Well, actually the second and third floor of a farmhouse, and for $113 a month. And we had 4 bedrooms and a cat. And I thought it would be a perfect place for my daughter to play, but the ducks left too many things for her to pick up. And it didn't turn out well. And I had a little washer and dryer when I lived there. And you had to remember to turn the water off when the washer was full. Well, I walked away and forgot about it and ended up flooding not only my bathroom, but the one downstairs. So we ended up moving shortly after that. I was 19.
Yeah. Yeah. I've made mistakes. I've left the water on outside. Not this year. I haven't done it at all this year. I've actually walked off and left the oven on before. And hubby used to pick on me, but then one day he cooked something and he did it too. I was like, see, you're not, look, you did the same thing. So I had to pick on him back. So I wanted to do an acknowledgement of all the lives that were lost in Texas. And as a tribute to them, I would like for you guys to put some hearts and some praying hands in the chat, just in remembrance of the children and the lives that were lost. So just take a pause for our fellow, all the children and families that passed away in Texas. I don't know what the exact count is. I know it's over 100 children. It's very sad. It saddens me. I watched some videos and it just was so sad. But there were some heroes in there. There were a couple of girls who were 16 years old, and I don't know how they knew what to do, but they saw it coming. They took the kids in their whole camp and walked them out to higher ground. And all those kids in that particular camp survived. I don't know the name of that camp. One of my friends told this story. So I'm hearing it secondhand. One of the stories I listened to was 2 boys in a camp, and they said the water started rising. They were up in the rafters, and I guess they would swim underwater and swim out one by one. So thank God that those boys knew how to swim. So that's how they survived. So definitely would be very scared to send my kids to camp, and definitely you want to pray for them before they go, but I mean, I went to church camp for many, many years, and I can't even imagine sending your kid away to camp and then they never come back. I can't even imagine that. But it wasn't just campers in the church camps. It was actually families camping along the river, along the Guadalupe River, that died. So it wasn't even just girls. It was also families and things. So it's a very sad story.
Somebody from our church died. She was only 16 down there. I'm not sure
okay, sorry.
I don't know what she was doing down there. She was a chaperone or what, but
yeah. I'm just surprised that 16 young girls knew what to do and saved all those lives. That's just awesome. It
is.
That is awesome. Maybe he was talking to them in their head. God was talking to them, telling them what to do. I don't know how to explain these kind of tragedies, and I don't think there really is a way to explain them, but I cannot imagine losing a child. That's just crazy. What is your favorite dessert?
Probably dairy-free ice cream.
Oh, do you make it or do you buy it?
I was making last year. I got a lot of. Pardon? I was last year making blueberry rhubarb crisp, and it was real easy. I did record it, but I think it's on my old channel. And it was a 1/4 cup of oatmeal, a 1/4 cup of corn syrup, and a 1/4 cup each of the blueberries and the chopped up rhubarb. And then I would bake it in a little tiny pan in the air fryer. And that was quite good. But I stopped making it once I used up all my blueberries and rhubarb. So,
yeah. I think you're pretty good at doing food preservation because, you're always getting things from the food bank, so that you have to be able to put it up. Because my mom was talking about that, because my mom goes to the food bank and gets things, and she keeps some things, she freezes some things, she gives some things away You know, I feel like God provides us with more than what we need so that we can share it with other people. Sometimes the things she gets even end up in the bags for the homeless. So
Oh yeah.
sometimes she takes them home with me, sometimes she keeps them. It's just according to what she likes and what she wants. So
You
she
pretty
is
much have to freeze it the day you get it, because the next day it'll go bad if you don't do it before you go to bed.
Do you have any YouTube goals for this year or going into next year?
I'm just playing things as they go. I do like the idea that you have a schedule, and I really want to do that. I started this channel basically to talk about things, the blessings that I do have, and stay focused on that. And I haven't been doing that because I keep doing collabs or something. And I like that you told me to schedule things ahead, and I did that. And about a month ago, I got sick. I mean, to the point that I was falling down sick. So I got really behind. By the time I did get to the doctor and get antibiotics, it was a month from when I first got sick. And of course, my doctor wasn't real happy with me, but I mean, I have this little dog, and she barks too much, and I live in an apartment, and I didn't want to leave her home alone. But
yeah, understandable.
I did end up having to do that, and my son was able to keep her quiet that day.
She probably feels more calm when you're there, right?
Yeah, she's funny that way, and she is so loud. My last dog just never barked. And
she's going from a silent dog to a loud dog, basically.
Yeah, that's it. And I did try to rehome her, but I can't even give her away. Nobody wants her. I gave her to a couple of what do you call them, pet rescue places, and they couldn't find homes for her either.
Yeah.
So I guess she's staying for now.
Yeah, she is a cutie pie.
She's a cutie, but you know, when my husband and I lived in a house, we took in dogs that nobody wanted, and we would train them, and then we'd rehome them. And that when I got her, that's what my first idea was to do, because she was only 3 years old. And I'm 74. My last dog lived 18 years. So if she lives that long, I'll be like 88, I think. I've not figured it out. But she would I think she would be happier with a family that had a bunch of kids. The last family that had her had a bunch of kids, and I did actually give her back to them for a while. We were going to do a shared custody agreement that they could have her back, not if, but when something happens to me. But
they were asking what kind of dog she is. I know you answered that earlier, but could you answer that again? Hi, Rainy Ridge.
She's part Bichon, and she has the short legs in front, and her face looks like a Bichon. Come here. She's sleeping again. She's sleeping on her pee pad after she peed on it, so I don't think I want her on my lap.
Yeah.
And she's part Bichon, so her back legs are much taller, and she kind of stands like this. So somebody said I should call her Eileen. You want to come up here? Yeah. Okay. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Oh.
Cute.
She is a very sweet dog now that she knows me. And her favorite thing to do is meet everybody in line at food banks. I wanted to be able to take her to nursing homes. I was able to take my last dog to nursing homes to visit with my mother. And once she passed, the dog would just go crazy anytime I drove past there, because she thought we were going to go visit Mom. But
is she an emotional support dog?
She is actually an official emotional. If you want to get an emotional support dog, don't follow those commercials that'll charge you hundreds of dollars. Because all I did was tell my doctor I needed a letter from her stating that she was an emotional support dog, and she is. I can't take her in grocery stores. I don't have to pay any extra rent for her. My landlord can't kick me out for having a dog, but he allows dogs anyway. He likes dogs. And I don't know. One of my neighbors has big dogs. They're part pit bull and part black lab.
Uh-huh.
And she refuses to keep the thing on a leash. Her brown one came after my old dog, and now this black one attacked her twice. And I finally went to the landlord and asked him to do something about it. And apparently he did. I haven't seen him loose down there at all. But my dog is now prejudiced against black dogs. At the family reunion, my niece came with her black dog, and my dog hid behind me and wouldn't go near her dog. But she greeted
associating it with the dog that maybe hurt her in the past, possibly, maybe.
Right, but she still loves black people, so at least she's not prejudiced against people.
Yeah, more than likely related to a tragedy in her past.
Yeah, the same thing happened to my friend Donna's dog. She looks just like her, but might have been the same dog. We don't know.
I have Carol's link in the top of the description box. It's pinned. Actually, it's pinned in the top of the comment section. So if you're not friends with her channel, if you'll click on that and add a couple of videos to your watch later list so your friendship with her channel will stick, I would appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Right after this live today is going to be Simply Jan Homestead. She will start in approximately 8 minutes. Carol, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I was wondering, I know I saw your video on Tuber Chat, which prompted me to go there. And from that, I ran into one called Blessing Through Connection.
Yes.
And I went to her live the other day, and I picked up a couple more followers there.
How many people did she have in her chat when she was doing that?
This last one, there was quite a few. There was probably maybe 30, but the first chat I only saw 2 or 3. So she's picking up more and more people.
Oh yeah, I noticed her.
To connect.
You mentioned it earlier when we were on the phone, so I went by and I checked it out. She has a little clip where she talks at the beginning, and then actually she's going to have a live tomorrow at 1:00. So she's doing a take on Tuber Chat's connect and grow.
She's doing a little better though, because she has everyone be a moderator. So you can just click on their link and you can go straight to their channel while you're
I like that.
I like that too. In fact, the first time I saw that was on Mimi's channel on her lives. And I got a lot of my followers through that, especially for my last channel. And then there's another one called The Source.
And I haven't heard of that one. I haven't been to Mary's. Mary with Blessed to Crochet also has a channel called Blessed Through Connection, where she is doing like a guru channel. So if you guys want to check that out tomorrow, I'll try to remember to go in there and check it out tomorrow. So it's kind of a silent live stream where everybody in there are trying to connect. I went by and just checked out a little bit on her lives, and left some comments in her lives to let her know I was there. She had commented on, I believe it was the very top of the chat of this. So I don't know if she knew you and I talked or it just came out of the blue. But anyway, she left a comment on this live today. And so from that, I clicked on it and went straight to her live. So I think that's a really cool idea. I would love to do something like that. I actually have thought of doing something like that before.
Pick one of your days when you do your schedule.
I'm really curious to see how she has it working. And the good thing about taking a collaboration idea that's already out there is that, and it's not necessarily stealing, because everything you put out in public belongs to everybody, right? So basically like Fall Fest, the original idea was like the Harvest Moon giveaway, and then some crochet channels did it. And then, I was probably, I don't know, I have several down there, and I saw the idea and I took it and I just took a tablet out and I wrote everything out the way they did it. And then I changed it to fit what I wanted it to be. And then every year I make more changes to Fall Fest to hopefully improve it. I listen to other people's suggestions about Fall Fest, but of course, that's the thing about being the host. The ultimate decision is yours on what changes you think need to be made. So at this point,
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm not necessarily trying to continue growing my numbers. I'm not really like a number seeker anymore. I've kind of gotten like, okay, I'm happy with myself where I'm at. But for my channel, on the chart, like July is right here. July is little on the chart, but October is way up here on the chart. So basically, October is my best month of the year, and it's because of Fall Fest.
Right.
So
and normally I would think
I don't care about growing my numbers anymore. I still want to be able to make a little spending money out of it, because this is for this channel is my spending money. That's my money I use to buy postage stamps. I use to mail things. I use to buy gift cards and prizes. And occasionally it might be lunch or a new t-shirt. It could be whatever. But I always do put some of the money I make from YouTube back into YouTube.
That's a good idea.
In fact, I'll probably be buying my Fall Fest gift card, because I have to buy two because I have two channels. I'll probably buy the first one in August and then the second one in October.
Oh, that will work.
And I thought I would take the time to mention, since Jan is not going live tonight, I thought I would take the time to mention. So this channel I use for my spending money. Broken Hearts Ministry is a homeless ministry. So all the money for that channel goes back into the ministry. Every penny, every membership, every super chat, every PayPal, all that stuff goes straight back into the ministry. So I took the time today. I wanted to mention that Broken Hearts Ministry does take donations. I have all that information in the description box. There's memberships. There's PayPal. Be sure to put Broken Hearts Ministry or BHM in the description so I know what it's for. Gift cards are an option. I also have an Amazon wish list for the homeless. For some reason, I can't ever get that link to post. But if you email me, I'll send you the link to it. Also, people can make things like wash rags. I had someone make little pin hearts that had Bible verses and things like that. So I've had people make hats. So any items like that, I've had people send cards, all kinds of items. So definitely we go out every single month for Broken Hearts Ministry. So Broken Hearts Ministry is always looking for donations. So I basically use the things I buy for the ministry. I call it my tithe. So my husband does our regular tithe for the family, but my tithe is the money I put into the ministry, where I go to Dollar Tree or Walmart. I also, on our everyday grocery list that I make, I also add items for the homeless in there. I kind of sneak them in our regular grocery bill. It could be like some, tuna cracker kits or some saltine crackers, things like that. So Broken Hearts Ministry goes out every single solitary month. We're always looking for people to donate. I thought I would take the time. I don't usually do this. I thought I would take the time tonight to talk about the fact that we're always accepting donations. We appreciate all the donations. And actually, our second check for YouTube is going to be coming this month. And we're going to make a video of what we buy with it. Mom and I are going to go shopping at Walmart. We're going to buy a bunch of food stuff. And I'm planning on making a video in Walmart showing what we buy and everything with the money that we get. So all the money goes back into the ministry for all the proceeds of that channel. The whole check goes back into the ministry. So
I have another suggestion. If you sign up for Fetch It's a channel where you can make a copy of or you actually take a picture of your receipt when you go to Walmart or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually earn gift cards with that. I also play games on it, which probably got me more of my stuff, but I have everything delivered to me and my receipts go directly into that account.
I've
And
heard of that. I've heard of that. I've
I'll,
never used it, but
I'll
I've heard of
post
it.
my link for it because you'll get extra points for that. I signed up through Mimi's Abundant Life,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up getting 4,000 points through that. And
It's awesome.
yeah, the first game that I downloaded was what is it? I forget what it is, but I stayed addicted to that game for way too long, and I actually earned enough points to get a $25 gift card.
I tried to do the game playing thing for a while, and I just couldn't. I couldn't get into the game thing. I mean, I like to play board games and card games, and I like to play Wii and things like that. But like the people sitting there doing this with the game thing, I can't do that.
I'm playing
I
Yahtzee on it right now, but
I wish I could, but I tried, and I just can't. I can't pull it off. So I'm going to continue to do some of these interviews with different channels. If you're interested in promoting your channel and you want to come up and let me interview you, if you would email me at the email that's going across the bottom of the screen, I will set up an interview with you. I do have one more interview coming up.
oh, great.
I'll have to check I don't know what the exact date is. I didn't look at it before. I didn't think ahead to look at that date, but next week I will not be live next Friday night because I will be at a family reunion, and I don't know where the events are going to be at the time frame. So I'm definitely not going live next Friday. So just so you know, no live for me next Friday. There will be no live. I will be at a family reunion with my dad's side of the family, and it'll be our first annual family reunion. It's at a RV park, recreation center. I think there might be water there. I'm not sure. I don't think there's a lake, maybe a pond. I'm not really sure. We haven't been there yet, but I'll definitely be making a video of it. So be looking for that. And so family reunion will be happening next weekend. And then in August, we're gonna go stay in an RV park, and we're gonna go to my niece's wedding.
Oh, fun.
And we don't really have anything going on in September, but in October will be again Pine Cone Fest. So that's another YouTube meetup that we go to because it's in Texas and it's nice and close. So, all right.
Great. I really appreciate you having me on today, Gail. This was a lot more fun than I thought. I was really scared to do this.
You were nervous? Oh,
I
yeah.
was really nervous.
On other people's channel. I don't get as nervous on my channel anymore, but I get nervous when I go on other people's channel because there's all of their friends, and I don't know why. It just makes me nervous.
Well, I notice as these people's names are popping up, I think I'm subscribed to about everybody that showed up.
Yes, thank you. I don't know. Y'all are making some kind of joke here.
Thank you.
Whatever it is going right over my head.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to let you guys go for tonight. Thank you so much, Carol, for coming in and let me interview you, for being my first get to know this restart. We'll say restart. Because I did 47 interviews a couple of years ago, and then I stopped to take a break and do something different. And I said, you know what? I think I'm going to restart on the interview. So if you're interested, please let me know. I definitely know that there was some kind of a copyright problem with Ariella's interview. So if you're interested in being re-interviewed, Ariella, send me an interview and we'll get that set up, because I know I had to end up deleting yours because someone came up and sang after yours, and it totally messed up the whole copyright thing. So that interview had to end up being deleted. So I do remember that. That was a long time ago. But anyway, thank you for coming up, Carol, and thank you guys for coming in tonight.
Yes, thank you everybody that shared on
Guys,
this.
not next week, but the next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. You gotta trim those nails. You need a manicure.